What's up, everybody? I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMoviescreens.com, and I got another movie to review for you guys, and that would be The Strangers Pray at Night. Now, this is the sequel to the 2008 hit The Strangers, starring Liv Tyler and Scott Speedsman, and it's a very simple premise. They are a couple, they go to a cabin in the woods, and they get terrorized by three people. Now, this is based on true events. This is based on the killings of a group of sycophants of Charles Manson, and they would basically go kill as their little Charles Manson cult. And that was something that did happen back in the day, and these movies are loosely based on those killings, which makes it even more terrifying because these are not monsters or ghouls. They are real life people. They're just downright psychopaths, and that's what makes this whole franchise terrifying. And on top of all that, the first one uses minimal sound design and music cues to really sink you into the atmosphere and give you a bone-chilling experience without having a jump scare every 5 seconds. It is effective, and it is actually one of the most underrated, so no one ever talks about it, and one of the best home invasion horror films I have ever seen. And I will put that stamp on there. So, bleeding into the, pun intended, bleeding into the second one, I had a lot of high hopes. And so I saw the trailer. I really liked what I saw. The director of the first one has come back to co-write and produce this one. This one's directed from the guy that did 47 Meters Down. I like that one. So I was curious to see what kind of style they would go with. If they would keep consistent, go veer off and do something different. How would it come across? And let me tell you, besides a couple nitpicks, 2 nitpicks, I love this movie. So let's get real and break this down. Let's start with the negatives first because this is a primarily positive review. The first negative is I didn't really care for Martin Henderson in the movie. He plays the father, and I just thought his acting just came across as hokey and just really just kind of uncomfortable almost. Like it didn't seem like he wanted to be there or even was comfortable saying the lines. It didn't come across as a natural performance, and it felt like he was the sore thumb out of the whole family, because this one is not just a couple, it is an actual family with a son and a daughter. So everyone else did fine, especially for this movie. You don't need to be like Oscar worthy or whatever, except for the head killer. He was pretty good with his eyes. I appreciate that. But we'll get into the positives. But as far as negatives, he's the only weak link in terms of the acting. Some of the dialogue is a little cheesy. And, when he says some of the dialogue or even says that like one awkward joke in the beginning, it just did not come across well at all. So Martin Henderson, you are the weak link acting-wise. The other thing, without spoiling anything, I will say that there's a reveal at the very close to the end. I don't think they should have gone that route. And I think they should have kept it in continuity to the first one. You will know what I'm talking about when you see it. Now, an argument could be made that this reveal does make it terrifying from what follows after. But I like what they did in the first one. Kind of wish they would have kept it in this one. You'll know when you see it, but that's all I'll say. All right, so let's jump to the positives because I have a lot. Let's start with some of the minor ones, and then we'll work our way to the best thing about this movie for sure. The acting all around is good. I was really impressed with the daughter and the son, actually, and I'll get to that in just a second because they have a lot more screen time than I thought they would, and I thought they really captured the fear, the paranoia, the survival instincts that you would need for these type of characters in this type of film. I thought they did a pretty good job for this movie. All three of the killers, great stuff. A lot of great eye work, a lot of great facial expressions, minimal dialogue, just like within the first one, and it's terrifying the way they move with their axe or just move with their mask and kind of like dangle their shoulders a little bit, or just kind of like just stare at you for like the longest time. It is effective stuff without using literally no dialogue. It works just like the first one. I guess one of the other minor things is I appreciate the location change because the first one was set inside of a home. Now that is terrifying for sure, because you don't know whether they're down the hall, upstairs, basement, whatever. With this one, I was a little worried that the trailer park would not work, because when the family gets to their trailer, you could literally see the whole trailer down the hallway. So I was like, oh no, this is going to be terrifying unless they use a lot of the outside environment with these killers as well, and they do that. They use multiple trailers, they use multiple hiding spots outside. It made it even more terrifying than I thought it would be from the first one because of the kind of open nature of the setting. They're almost like hunting targets, and that to me would be more terrifying because you can't see it coming. Versus like the house, like you can kind of map out your house in your head, like, okay, I gotta put my back to this wall and look this way and look that way. With this one, you don't know where they're at. So I thought it wouldn't work at first, but I thought the environment change was really well handled. All right, so some of the biggest things I love about this movie. One, the music. It has a Stranger Things vibe, and I'm totally fine with that. That's all I'll say. It's very, very synthy, and a couple of other songs kind of poke in there, and I thought it really kind of captured that era of filmmaking, because the biggest compliment I can give this movie, I think the style of this movie is better than the first one. Now, let me explain. Now, the first one uses a lot of, handy cam and long takes, and I really appreciate that. This one takes it to like an Alfred Hitchcock and John Carpenter level, where we have cinematography there, like these smooth pans following these characters, stopping, letting them exit frame, or we have a camera set across the street. We're focusing on something, and they do just a slow zoom in the entire time, so you're focused on that subject, and you don't know what's coming around them because you're so concentrated on the point of interest. So it's stuff like that reminded me so much of John Carpenter's Halloween, and a nice ode to that, because these killers are almost like Michael Myers, where they are human, yes, but they are subhuman because they are psychotic. They enjoy killing people. They enjoy death themselves. Like they bathe in this stuff. It's like that type of filmmaking works for this, because the killers in this, while based on real life people, do feel like a Michael Myers type of character. And there's one shot towards the end. It creeped the hell out of me. It struck a chord and just made me shiver, because I was like, that's why this movie is effective, because these are real life people. And it will just blow your mind that people can act this way. But yes, the cinematography is wonderful. Not only does it accompany with such great lighting that have harsh shadows, or really kind of well-lit park areas, or, just well-lit kind of like inside the trailer, it works so well with the cinematography and the style of it to really leave it on shots for a long period of time to make you even feel more paranoid is awesome. So that goes into the directing. Obviously, the cinematography is a huge thing with that, but I think the overall style and vision that Roberts was going for, like I said, almost felt like the best hybrid of an Alfred Hitchcock and John Carpenter film, whether it be the slow-moving zoom-in cinematography, or the graphic violence from John Carpenter's side, or the music cues, like with John Carpenter, or like there was even a couple of shots that remind me of that. I think that's where the Alfred Hitchcock one comes into play. Not only is it like the suspense and the terror, there are a couple of shots that have Alfred Hitchcock written all over it, where you have a character in the forefront like this in the foreground, and you have a character in the background over there, and it's all within one frame, and it kind of looks weird at first, but that's how they set up the shot, and it happens in the beginning and it happens towards the end, and I thought it was such a great use of that. And so that's where kind of like the Hitchcockian flavor starts to kind of poke through. Listen, if you like home invasion horror films, I think you're going to love this one. If you love the first one, I think you'll love this one. Besides my couple of complaints, I'm still going to go high with this one. I recommend this one quite a bit if you are a horror fan, or fan of the first one, or just want to see something new and unique, so you're not just watching a horror movie where a cat jumps in front of the screen and that's considered a scare with loud music. No, this is a slow burn of a horror film that packs punch, terror, and genuine fright to just get under your skin and make you feel creeped out. I'm going to give The Strangers Prey at Night a solid A. Listen, if you tell me that you're going to make a home invasion horror film and you deliver in that genre very well in most of the categories, you're going to get a high grade. They set out to do something and it worked for me. So, The Strangers Prey at Night gets a solid A for me. So, but what about you guys? Have you seen this one, the first one, whatever? Let me know down below. And as always, guys, I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMovieScreenings.com. And tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.